Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bullpen. All right, we got Shelley Wynter in the Bullpen. He's back, conservative talk show host, WSB Radio. Shelley, how are you? Welcome.
I'm wonderful, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing quite well, brother. Thank you for being back on Indisputable. Don't know why I keep having you, and I'm sure you say you don't know why you keep coming.
Right, exactly. But I love you, so it's all good.
I love you back, brother. Okay, let's see if you love me after this debate. I don't want to know. I don't know what you. I don't know what you presume or believe about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. So I'm going to chop it up about that, and maybe even the McMichaels and Bryan trial as well. But what's your thought and sentiment about those trials?
I mean, I think they're two totally different trials. I think to equate them kind of mashes up something that's really not there in the Rittenhouse trial. I think the Arbery case is clearly about race. I think that's without a question. I think there's some problems that I've seen as a person who supported the Republican woman in the race who got run out of office basically and lost her race to Flynn Brody, who's running the case now, a Democrat out of Cobb. I think there've been some mistakes on the prosecution's side with the Arbery case. But that being said, I don't think the trials in and of themselves, I know the media is trying to force them together, but the Rittenhouse trial has nothing to do with black people, has nothing. As a matter of fact, I am laughing my LMAO off every single day because I'm like, wow, black people standing up for 3 white guys being shot by another white guy. It's fascinating to me to watch play out.
Well, let's talk about that because I do disagree with you on the dynamic that says there are no connections here. But for the sake of time,
it's a BLM march with no white people, with no black people. I didn't see one black person in the video.
Hey, Shelley, we got 10 minutes on this one because your sound was jacked up. For the sake of time, let me highlight first the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. The element of race is the fact of what they were protesting over. We've always had allies who are coalition entities, members of the brown community, white community, and various faiths, right? So the issue is, why was Kyle Rittenhouse there in the first place, and was he lawfully there? So we know Black Lives Matter, this was a protest organized and supported by them, even though you had a whole lot of white people on the ground protesting. Was he lawfully there with his firearm when he killed 2 people and tried to kill a 3rd? Yes or no?
Absolutely, and here's why.
Explain that to me.
The question, so here's the problem that I've had throughout this entire process. The problem I've had is that everyone keeps asking the question, was he lawfully there? When no one asked the question, was Rosenbaum or the other 2 victims lawfully there either? Because none of them were from Kenosha, Wisconsin either. And they were actively participating in the destruction of other people's property.
But here's what I want you to do. Have they been convicted or charged with anything?
No, sir. Sir, I'm going back to your point. Don't slide.
Sir, the question is, clearly, was Rittenhouse in, go ahead.
Well, you said, was he lawfully there? I said, before you ask that question, ask the question.
Sir, in all due respect, I posed my question to you first. Was he lawfully there? And
absolutely.
Okay, so let me rebut that. Rebut that.
A man can't go defend other people's property in this country when the police have disregarded.
I'm going to answer your question based on the statute of Wisconsin, okay?
Gotcha.
17-year-olds in the state of Wisconsin cannot be in lawful possession of a firearm.
That's not the question you asked. You said, was he lawful there? Not was
I'm going to provide, come on, Shelley. Brother, I'm going to provide a rebuttal to his lawfulness in that situation. Real simple. 17-year-olds in the state of Wisconsin cannot lawfully have a semi-automatic weapon, which means he is unlawfully carrying a very dangerous firearm, number 1. Number 2, in Wisconsin, it is against their statutory code to use deadly force in order to protect property. You may not like that law, but that is Wisconsin law. You cannot use deadly force in the protection of property, number 2. Number 3, you have a school zone issue because he had this illegal weapon within the vicinity of a no gun zone, according to the narrative. So there are 3
3 violations. So let him.
Now,
So hold on.
Hey, listen, brother. I'm going to let you respond to me clearly. All right, 100%. You get a response. So you have someone who is unlawfully carrying a semi-automatic weapon. 3 individuals attempt to disarm someone who was unlawfully carrying. You do not get to say that because you carried a gun in a place illegally and somebody tried to legally disarm you, that you get to then kill them. You never should have brought the gun there in the first place because you are unlawfully carrying. The person who bought the gun for Kyle Rittenhouse has been arrested for 2 felonies because he provided the weapon illegally to the 17-year-old. There was no debate. He never was in lawful possession of the firearm.
So what are we arguing here? Are you arguing 3 lowercase felonies versus murder? Because the first question to me, sir, was he there legally? Yes, he was there legally. In possession of a firearm? No, we all know that. Those are the things that he will be found guilty of. Now, in Wisconsin, as you talk about their statutes on gun ownership and protecting a property, in Wisconsin, they have one of the strongest self-defense statutes in the country. And in Wisconsin, when someone hits you with a skateboard, a mob is chasing you down the street, and there's a gun pointed at you, which the prosecution witness has already admitted to, then that is defense of body. So he can go to another state and hold a gun in front of someone's used car dealership. By the way, how come you guys don't even want to talk about why people had to stand in front of businesses to protect them from being burnt down? How is it possible that you get to the 17-year-old, but you skip over what he was protecting the people from doing, burning down other people's businesses in a city they did not even live, with businesses which by and large had nothing to do with the murder by the police of Jacob Blake? So
all right, let me ask you this question.
What there a debate on in this issue?
All right, let me ask you this question. So is it now lawful? Is it now acceptable for individuals that should not have a firearm to get a firearm, go into a contentious situation, get caught up and kill everybody who tries to disarm them? Is that the new normal now?
No, the new normal, because he'll be in trouble for that. So that's the new normal. The new normal is the law will say, hey, 17-year-old, you shouldn't have that weapon. And the new normal will say, hey, Mr. Dominique Black, you shouldn't have bought that gun for him.
That's quite fascinating. Okay.
That's the new normal. No, that's the new normal.
So let me explain to you what the normal is.
Murder 1 case. Is he a white supremacist? Joe Biden called him. Oh, by the way, the Young Turks' own Anna Kasparian has already said, wow, this is what I thought it was. So, I mean, come on, man.
Hold on, Shelley. Now I'm going to respond to what you said about my sister Anna. Now, damn it, let me tell you something. Hold on, brother. I'm going to set the record straight here. Okay. Now, hey, Shelley, Shelley, you work with a whole slew of clowns at WSB, clown ass people. Don't have me get started on the clowns that you work with. Anna is a remarkable individual and has been a leader for progressive values. And she decided, hold on, brother. She decided to set the record straight on one issue about somebody chasing Kyle Rittenhouse, and that was it. You all blew it out of proportion, like she had totally changed everything she said.
I didn't say anything. I simply said,
come on, man, don't get me started on the clowns over there that you work with. Don't have me do that, brother. I will.
Hold on, you already did, so don't say you will. But I didn't say anything negative about the sister. I simply said, even she has seen it differently. That's all I said.
Brother, it was one misquote. We all misquote. You've misquoted things. You've misspoke about something. We've all done it. I did it earlier in the broadcast about the Arbery case and I'm sorry, the McMichael case and the Rittenhouse case. Now, let me ask you this question. You say that's the new norm. You realize that it is
punished for that, brother. You heard what I said. They're gonna punish him for that. He's gonna be found guilty of those
Listen to me, brother. I'm trying to make a point to your point. I'm literally just trying to make a point to your point. This is how it works. So you said, okay, he's wrong for this, he's wrong for that, but he still has the ability to claim self-defense. Let me bring your case.
Of course.
Let me bring you to your.
That's the question. Let's flip it before you even go to your question.
Listen, brother, we got like 2 minutes, man. I don't. Come on, man.
I'm gonna ask you, make you answer the last question.
Brother, I'm going to pose this question and this point to you, no matter what. All right. So here's my question and point to you. In the state of Georgia, all right, you're in Georgia, I'm in Georgia. There's a case, Ronnie Purvis. Ronnie Purvis, he had a firearm illegally. He did not have lawful possession of it. He was attacked. Everybody saw it. It was in a mall. His life was in danger. He used that weapon and he killed the attacker. The state of Georgia still prosecuted him for manslaughter, only because he was unlawfully in possession of the firearm, even though they said on record it was clear self-defense. He still should not have been in possession of the firearm. He's a black male. He's going to get roughly 20 years for that, okay?
Right.
So you tell me that Rittenhouse gets a different set of rules?
No, it's a different state, first of all, brother. You know that. Don't even try that, man.
The state of Wisconsin has prosecuted individuals under that same manslaughter charge before. This is the state of Wisconsin has done so as well.
The state of Wisconsin is not going to find this man guilty of murder, one. That's the thing that I've been saying the whole time. That's what I said. Number one. Number two, it's in the case of Rodney Purvis, they shouldn't have charged him with manslaughter because he was defending himself. That's an egregious situation. Like I said, is an ex-felon allowed to own a weapon? No. But the right to defend yourself is absolute from time immemorial. So in this case, once they prove that Rittenhouse was defending himself, they will find him guilty of lesser charges. Like
one thing we agree with, we got 30 seconds. So one thing you and I agree with, I actually believe that it is likely that Kyle Rittenhouse will get away with murder. He never should have had that firearm. He was in unlawful possession and he should go to jail for killing people, period. But at the end of the day, you may be right. He may actually get to walk on this one and get away with it.
He'll get to walk on a murder charge, but he won't get to walk on the lesser charges.
All right, we'll see.
Just like Mr. Purvis walked on a murder charge and he didn't walk on the manslaughter charges.
All right,
he should never have been charged with manslaughter in the first place.
All right, brother. I appreciate you being on the show. I'm flat out of time. Thank you, Shelley.
Peace.